What's up, guys? John from Mothman Outdoors here. Like you didn't already know that. We're at the Canal State Forest. Cameron just did a test with a bunch of different arrows, about 3 or 4. That'll be a cool video. Hopefully you guys watch that. And then also this video is brought to you by Bucked Up. Not really, but if you use code Mothman25 at checkout, you'll save some money on your order at Bucked Up. So go do that. Anyway, the reason I'm standing in front of you today at the Canal State Forest is I'm doing some broadhead tuning, which, okay, disclaimer, I kind of already did it a few days ago, but the camera screwed up, so I'm here just to verify. If you know me or you've watched these videos, I primarily run the Easton 5.0 match grade. I really like this arrow. I know we might have said some bad things about it in the past, but we were stupid and young and we didn't know any better. But no, after talking to, Tyson and what's the gentleman's name that we talked to at TAC?
Cody
from Easton. They spent about 10 years working on this arrow before they put it out. So gave it another chance, realized what it was that I was shooting, which is, like Cameron said a bunch of times, this is a Ferrari of an arrow. It's not a pickup truck, it's not a semi. This one is a little bit less forgiving if you mess up. Which in my opinion, now that knowing that, this arrow in a sense kind of holds you a little bit more accountable. You kind of have to shoot this thing quite good to save it. I know that might scare some people. It shouldn't. It's just going to make you a better shooter. And shout out to all the companies out there like Podium Archer, Extreme Outfitters especially, who will sell these in the singles. So you're not stuck buying a full dozen or 6 that come, pre-fletched. You can just buy them single chapped, so I appreciate that. Because what I've learned as I've gotten better shooting is I don't need to keep buying dozens. I can buy the singles to replace ones that I make a mistake on. I think this last TAC event in Indiana and the Mothman Archery Challenge, total I think I lost maybe 3 or 4. So it's easier to replace 3 or 4 singles for a fraction of the price than just buying a full set of 12. But moving on, like I said, broadheads, or my broadhead is the reason that I'm out here today. I run the SEVR. This is just the regular mechanical, the 2-inch cut. There's a couple things I like about this broadhead. It is hinged, and what I mean by that is these blades hinge off of each other. There's a pin system at the top, and what's cool about that is when this broadhead enters, anything that one of the blades might deflect off of, this little hinge system in here. So if let's say this blade over here catches a bone on the way through, this blade will close, keeping this one open as much as it can, continuing to cut, which I think that's pretty cool. And then the other cool thing I like about this, especially one of the reasons we're out here today, is the broadhead tuning. There is a little pin right here. This is a set screw that you can see is kind of flush right here, and what it does is you insert that and it keeps the blades closed on impact, so you're actually testing with the blade that you're going to be shooting in the woods. Now I know SEVR is not the only broadhead that does that. However, when it comes to other broadheads like the G5, they might send you like this little fake. Me personally, I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's the best way to do it. However, I understand why they do that.
And you're talking about the little practice broadhead.
Yep, the little practice broadhead instead of actually shooting the one that you're going to be shooting. I think there's a lot to be said for that. I know that people would argue that. Don't care. It's written in mud and it's raining outside. Your opinion might change tomorrow. My opinion might change tomorrow. So don't take it personal. Like I said, like Cameron has said, like Logan has said, you shoot what's best for you, what you practice with, what you feel most comfortable with. That's all that matters. We are new to SEVR for this year. We talked to the gentleman at Seven Springs about SEVR, was really interested in the things that he had to say, and learned that SEVR's parent company is Easton. So Easton 5.0, maybe an Easton manufactured blade, I guess you would say. So I'm going to give it a shot this year. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out here. I'm going to shoot this, and then I'm going to shoot one of my field tipped arrows because the grain weight is the same, and kind of just see how far we are. However, when I tried to broadhead tune these the other day, I noticed I really didn't have to change anything other than just a few clicks left or a few clicks right. The up and down was pretty great. Now, there is going to be one more variable today that I didn't have a couple days ago, which is very important. This lighted knock. This adds grain weight. So if you're going to broadhead tune, make sure that you're trying to do it, or that you can do it, with everything that your arrow is going to have on it when it's in that quiver to go into the woods. I.e., lighted knock. If you don't have a lighted knock when you broadhead tune, I promise you, you will see some form of a variation when you go to shoot, God forbid, at a real animal, and now there's a lighted knock in it. These things are heavier for obvious reasons. They have lights in them. So you have to try to, broadhead tune what we're about to do with everything in here, so get rid of as many variables as you can. So when that time comes, you know where I'm aiming is probably where this is going to hit. So we're going to take a couple shots, 40 yards at the foam target. Remember, the set screw is inserted, so this thing's not going to expand. And then we're going to shoot a broadhead, and then we're going to shoot a field tip, and then we're going to see where we're at. Also remember, always shoot your broadhead first. That way you don't accidentally slice your veins off your field tipped arrow. So let's shoot. All right, so we're at 40 yards, which, out here in these dense West Virginia woods, that's a pretty long shot. I think me and Cameron might only have a couple avenues where our ladder stands are at our couple different hunting spots where we might have a 40-yard shot, maybe a little bit further.
Saddle stands.
Saddle stands.
We don't be ladder hunting around here.
What did I say, ladder?
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know where that come from. Anyway, our saddle stands. We might have a few lanes that we could shoot that far, maybe a little bit further. But again, all this stuff, all this cool stuff, all this money that we've spent, it doesn't matter if the deer don't walk in front of you. So find a spot, make sure you're on the deer. Sometimes I know we just go in the woods all willy-nilly, and we're probably going to do the same thing when we go to Ohio this year. But whatever. On to the broadhead tuning. So like I said, we got the SEVR, the 2.0, the 2-inch cut. This isn't a hybrid, this is just the mechanical. So we're going to take a shot at 40. I'm good on the dial. So let's see where we're at. Like I said, we're going to shoot one broadhead, and then we're going to shoot a field tip. I say a lot. It should be noted that we said these arrows grain weight are about 434. All right, well that looks like a dot. All right, so let's shoot a field tip, and we'll kind of see where we're at.
And remember, when you're doing this, you chase the field tip, you don't chase the broadhead.
Yeah. I think the field tip should be. Oh man, my shoulders are tight, boy. Working out is whooping my ass. I promise I'm not weak. That was me. I'll shoot another one. I got another one. That one was me. I was gonna say something. There's something important. Whatever. You should be doing this right now, if not already prepared. I know hunting season has started in some other places here. What do we have, Cameron? Less than a week?
We have 6 days.
All right, let's go take a look. So
we have 6 days till urban season.
Yeah, till urban season, and unfortunately, Cameron was the only one successfully enough to get his application approved. Mine, I definitely could have. I ran out of time, and a problem that me and Cameron run into with urban hunting here in Charleston is that, unlike other places, you can't just go knock on a door and ask for permission, and if someone gives you permission, you're free to hunt. That person's house has to be registered with the city, and they have to go to the city to do that. And the problem that we run into a lot is that either A, someone was already hunting it because they'd been hunting it for years, or two, the person who owned the house was hunting it, and the only reason I even put it on the list of the city was so they could be able to do that. So
yeah, because they have to.
Yeah. So Cameron got lucky, found a house, a lovely old couple. That sounded so rude. A lovely elderly couple allowed Cameron to hunt. He's got a couple good bucks on Cameron, so we're super excited for Cameron to get that opportunity about 2 weeks earlier before the rest of us can start hunting. So,
and in West Virginia, I do have to take a doe first.
Yes.
So the first couple of times you'll see us, you might see us take a doe, but that's just gonna be have to.
All right. So 40 yards. Broadhead. Obviously not allowed to open because here, and Cameron, you can kind of see the only thing it did was move the band up. And one thing I appreciate about SEVR is that they give you spare parts. So I have extra rubber bands after tuning with this, because what I'm going to do is, you can kind of see there's some foam in there from shooting. So I'm going to take the set screw out, open the blades up, and then clean that out, because this is still very shootable, because the razor parts, the razor blades, have not been hit.
Also, but just in case, super shout out to SEVR, because when we did buy these in Seven Springs and talk to the individual that was there, he did give us spare blades.
Yeah, and I think you get the spare parts with SEVR, no matter what blades you buy, which is really, really cool. SEVR, I think, is going to end up being a really big company. Not that they aren't already. But yeah, as you can see, we hit here, and then we hit here. This is obviously a flyer. That's definitely my fault. I'm pretty satisfied with that. You're talking 2.5 inches at 40 yards. Both are touching either in the white or touching the white. That's a kill shot. Again, you should be doing this no matter what broadhead you're going to be shooting. And if you have the money, if you do not have a broadhead that is capable of doing something like this, to where you can pin it to where it won't open on impact, it'll let you shoot pretty much exactly what you're going to shoot in the woods. If you don't have that ability or that opportunity with what you purchased or what you want to shoot, if you have the extra money, I'd say take 3 of them and just say screw it and just waste them and see what happens. Mechanicals, you might get maybe a couple shots max before the blades start falling apart, because they're just hitting super hard, and they're not really cutting through anything. They're kind of just getting stuck in either foam. Hopefully you're not shooting at a bag target with one of these, because good luck getting that back out. Do the best you can to make sure you're as prepared as you can be for what you're going to shoot. I don't care if it's a bear, elk, deer, whitetail, mule deer, blacktail, I don't care. Try to get as prepared as you can. I know it's hard sometimes. I know a lot of guys are just, you know, gung-ho. They say screw it. They just pick up the bow a month before bow season starts, and then they go out there. And you know what? You might kill a massive buck doing things like that. However, the better prepared that you can be, the better shooter you're going to be, the better hunter you're going to be. We all know how shitty that feeling is. Excuse my language. We all know how crappy that feeling is when you hit that deer and you don't kill it, and then you never find it, and then you're hating yourself and getting to a point where you might even never bow hunt again, or hunt period. So be as prepared as you can. That's why we're out here doing this. I'm satisfied with that. I feel confident that these are going to fly true. Easton 5.0, Mothman wraps, Atlas bonding Atlas vanes, and then one other thing that I do that should be noted is I number my arrows. This is arrow number 6, and the reason I do that is because it lets me know when I'm shooting which arrows fly better than other ones, and believe it, they do. Even though these are all the same batch, some of these arrows will fly different than other ones, because I'm the one who wrapped them, I'm the one who fletched them, I'm not perfect. So number 6 seems like it's a pretty good flyer. So what I would do is I would shoot them with field tips, figure out which arrows fly better than the other ones, take that group out of the 12, which gives me the best 6. Those are the 6 I put in the quiver, and then I broadhead tune them with these, figure out which ones are the best, and then I put them in my quiver aligned accordingly. Like the first one I'm going to grab is the best flying arrow that I got. You don't have to do that. There's tons of other guys who do that. Some guys do it for other reasons. I do it to let me know which ones are the best flyers of the group, and so on and so on and so on. Cameron does it too. Logan does it. That's how we just know, like I said, which ones fly the best and straightest for us. So broadhead tune your bow. Bow season is here. Hunting season is here. Get in the woods. Be proud of whatever you kill. It doesn't matter what it is. Just do it. And hopefully the next time you see us, we have a down deer.